December 21st, 2014, from Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, Missouri, was the New York Giants at the St. Louis Rams. The Rams won the toss. They elected their first, so the G-men would take over first in this game. They would start off on their own 20 after the kickoff. They were then faced with a 2nd and 7 from the 23. Eli Manning hit Larry Donald for an 11-yard reception, a first down at the 34. Then on 2nd and 11 from the 33, Eli Manning dropped back and he hit Randle for a 49-yard reception. That brought the ball to the red zone for a first down on the St. Louis 18. They were then faced with a 4th and 3, and they brought out the field goal unit. John Brown attempted a 29-yard field goal. It was up. It was good. And the Giants were on the board first with the score: New York 3, St. Louis 0. So now on the kickoff, it ended up being a fumble as Darkwa fumbled the ball and was recovered by Barry. So, even though I'm probably saying that now I'm wrong, but it's Berhe. But the New York Giants would take over in field goal range to begin their second possession of the game, as the St. Louis Rams had yet to have a play from scrimmage. And so it was a first down for the Giants on the St. Louis 21. They're then faced with a 3rd and 6. Eli Manning dropped back and he hit Parker for an 8-yard reception, but an offensive holding penalty would bring the G-men back to the 27 for 3rd and 16. Eli, undaunted, then went to Rueben Randle. He picked up 16 and the first down on the 11. And then he went to Odell Beckham Jr. He picked up 2 yards. Now it's 2nd and 8 from the 9. Eli Manning goes back to Odell Beckham Jr. for the 9-yard touchdown pass. And there was a taunting penalty, though, against the Giants that would be put on the kickoff. But the score was now Giants 10, Rams 0. So now the St. Louis Rams would take over on the Giants 48 after the kickoff, along with the penalty. There was also another penalty as well for unnecessary roughness against the Giants. So the penalties add up, and now the Rams had the ball in Giants territory to begin their possession and actually run their first play from scrimmage of this game. And they actually were faced with a 2nd and 5 from the Giants 43. Trey Mason picked up 9 in the first down that brought the ball to the 34. But they wouldn't get much further, as on 3rd and 4 from the 28, Shaun Hill was sacked by JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, and so out would come Craig Zuerlein to attempt a 51-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Rams were on the scoreboard with the score Giants 10, Rams 3. So now the New York Giants would take over on their own 30 after the kickoff with about 5 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes left still in the first quarter. They got a first down, but after 5 plays, they would end up punting from their own 47. And Eli ended up being sacked on 2nd and 9 from the 48 by McDonald. And they weren't able to get out of that hole, so they punted from the 47, and now St. Louis would take over on their own 47 after the punt with about a minute and a half left in the first. Trey Mason then picked up 16 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the New York 37, and then Shaun Hill dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Wynn. And so now the Giants would take over on their own 44 after the interception with less than a minute left still in the first. They're then faced with a 2nd and 4 from the 50. Williams picked up a yard, and the first quarter came to a close. So after 1 quarter of play, the score was New York 10, St. Louis 3. So now to begin the second quarter, the Giants had the ball in St. Louis 49. Eli dropped back to pass, and he ended up hitting Larry Donald for a 23-yard reception. It was actually called incomplete, but the Giants challenged, and then they overturned the play. It was reversed. So it was a first down now for the G-men on the St. Louis 26. But they wouldn't be able to get another first down, and out would come Brown to attempt the 37-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Giants extended their lead to 10 with the score New York 13, St. Louis 3. So now the Rams get the ball on their own 20 after the kickoff with about 12 and a half minutes left before halftime. They did pick up a first down, but after 4 plays, they would end up punting the ball from their 44. So now the Giants would take over on their own 20 after the punt with about 10 and a half left in the second quarter. They're faced with a 3rd and 4 from the 26, and Eli Manning hit Parker for a 15-yard reception, a first down at the 41. And then on 3rd and 1 from the 50, Williams picked up 2 and a first down that brought the ball to the 48. And then on 2nd and 10 from the 48, Eli Manning went to Randle. He picked up 19 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the St. Louis 29. And then Eli's out of the no-huddle in the shotgun went to Odell Beckham Jr., picked up 5 yards, but then he was blown up by McDonald. And it was actually a penalty call against McDonald for taunting. And so now the Giants would have the ball in the red zone for a first down on the 12-yard line. They then handed it off to Orleans Darkwa, and he ran it in for a 12-yard touchdown, and it was now Giants 20, St. Louis Rams 3. So now the Rams would take over on their own 26 after the kickoff with less than 5 minutes left in the second quarter. They were faced with a 2nd and 9 from the 27. Shaun Hill hit Kenny Britt for a 27-yard reception and a first down. They would bring the ball across midfield into the Giants' 46 for the first down. Then on 3rd and 5 from the 41, Shaun Hill was intercepted by Rogers Cromartie, but a penalty for pass interference would negate the interception, and it would now be a first down for the Rams in the red zone on the Giants' 15. Then an encroachment penalty would move them up to the 10, so it was 1st and 5 from the 10. They handed it off to Trey Mason. He ran it into the end zone for the 10-yard touchdown, and a face mask on the run would then be put on afterwards. So it was now a 10-point game. The Giants 20, the Rams 10. So now the Giants would take over on their own 20 after the kickoff with just over 2 minutes left in the first half, but they would go 3 and out on the possession, and they would end up punting from their own 23. So after the punt, the Rams would have the ball on their own 40 with about a minute and a half left in the second quarter. They were faced with a 2nd and 5 from the 45, and Shaun Hill hit Cunningham for an 8-yard reception, a first down in the Giants' territory at the 47. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 47, Shaun Hill hit Stedman Bailey for a 17-yard reception, a first down at the New York 30. Shaun Hill then went to Tavon Austin, and he picked up 15 yards in the first down that brought the ball into the red zone at the New York 15. Then on 2nd and 5 from the 10, Shaun Hill went to Kenny Britt. He picked up 8 in the first down. They made a 1st and goal on the 2, and the Rams took their final timeout and then an incomplete pass, and now with just 4 seconds left, although the ball was on the 2, they elected to go for a field goal. They brought out Greg Zuerlein to attempt the 20-yarder, and it was up and it was good as he hit the chip shot to make this a touchdown difference with the score New York 20, St. Louis 13 as we went to halftime. So now to start the second half, the Rams would get the ball first. They had on their own 20 after the kickoff, and on first down, Trey Mason ran for 12 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 32. Then on 3rd and 5 from the 37, Hill was intercepted by Rogers Cromartie, but then it was a defensive offsides against the Giants, and so for the second time, Rogers Cromartie's interception is wiped off the board, and it would remain St. Louis's ball and a first down on their own 42. But they wouldn't get much further as they would end up punting a few plays later from their 46. So now the Giants took over on their own 13 after the punt with about 11 and a half left in the third. They were faced with a 2nd and 4 from the 19. Eli Manning hit Randle for a 10-yard reception, a first down at the 29. And on first down from the 29, they handed off to Williams, and he ran at 45 yards all the way across midfield to the St. Louis 26 for the first down. But then a holding penalty moved them back to the 36. And on 1st and 20, Eli Manning hit Darkwa, and he picked up 8 yards, and a roughing the passer penalty against the Rams would make it a first down in the red zone for the Giants on the 14. They're then faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 7. Eli Manning out of the shotgun drops back, and he hits Randle for a 7-yard touchdown pass that would extend the Giants' lead to 14 with the score New York 27, St. Louis 13. So now St. Louis would get the ball on their own 10 after the kickoff with about 7.5 minutes left in the quarter. They would move the ball towards midfield, and on 1st and 10 from the 45, Tavon Austin ran for 19 yards on the end around to bring the ball into Giants territory at the 36. Then on 2nd and 6 from the 32, Hill hit Britt for an 11-yard pass, and that made a first down on the Giants' 21. And on 2nd and 12 from the 23, Shaun Hill dropped back to pass, and he hit Kendricks for a 23-yard touchdown that made this a 7-point game once again, with the score New York 27, St. Louis 20. So now the Giants would take over on their own 20 after the kickoff with about a minute and a half left in the third. Then on 3rd and 10 from the 20, Eli Manning dropped back to pass, and he hit ODB, Odell Beckham Jr. for an 80-yard touchdown pass as the Giants extended their lead back to 14 with the score now New York 34, St. Louis 20. So now the Rams would take over after the kickoff on their own 22 with just over a half a minute left in the third. Hill hit Kendricks for a 12-yard pass and a first down to bring the ball to the 34. And then Austin ran on an end around for 10 yards. And there was actually a penalty for an illegal motion against the Rams as the third quarter came to a close. So after 3 quarters of play, the score was New York 34, St. Louis 20. So now to begin the fourth quarter, the Rams had the ball on their own 29. It was 1st and 15, and they wouldn't be able to get a first down as on 3rd and 4 from the 40, Shaun Hill was sacked by Wynn, and out came the punting unit to punt from the 36. So now the Giants would get the ball on their own 10 after the punt with about 13 and a half minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're faced with a 3rd and 4 from the 16, and Eli Manning hit Odell Beckham Jr. for a 29-yard reception that brought the ball to the 45 of New York for the Giants' first down. Then on 3rd and 10 from the 45, Eli Manning went to Darkwa, picked up 9 yards, and that brought up 4th and 1. So they brought out the punting unit, and they were going to punt, but an encroachment call against the Rams would give the Giants a first down right when they were about to punt the ball, and instead the drive stays alive, and it was a 1st and 10 from the 41. But then the Giants got a holding penalty that would move them back into their own territory at the 49 for a 1st and 20. Then Manning went to Odell Beckham Jr. for a 9-yard pass, and then Fells for an 8-yard pass. But an incomplete pass on 3rd and 3 from the 34 would bring out Brown to attempt a 52-yard field goal. It was up, and it was good. So the Giants extended their lead to 17 with the score now New York 37, St. Louis 20. So now the Rams got the ball trailing by 3 scores with 8.5 minutes left in the fourth. They had on their own 20. And they ended up having a punt after 6 plays from their 35 as they were not able to get anything going. The Giants came with a big stop, and now their offense had the ball back after the punt with about 7 minutes left in the fourth. They had on their own 14, but they would go 3 and out and punt from their own 18. So now the Rams got the ball back, still trailing by 3 scores with just over 5 minutes on the clock in the fourth, and the ball on their own 34 after the punt. They then got a penalty for holding, and that moved them back to the 24. But then a penalty against the defense for roughing the passer brought him back to the 39. Then on 2nd and 1 from the 48, Hill hit Cook for a 5-yard pass and a first down that brought the ball into New York territory for the first down on the 47. Now the no huddle in the shotgun, Shaun Hill hit Givens for a 47-yard touchdown to make this a 10-point game with the score New York 37, St. Louis 27. The Rams went for an onside kick, but the Giants recovered, and so now they would have the ball on their own 48 to start the possession. They then tried to kill the clock, handed the ball off to Williams. He picked up 3 yards, and the Rams took their first time out. So now it's 2nd and 7 from the 49. Williams picked up another 3 yards, and the Rams used their second timeout. The Giants would also take a timeout. Now it was 3rd and 4 from the 46. Eli Manning then hit Randle for a 31-yard pass that made a first down in the red zone for the Giants at the St. Louis 15. They then gave the ball back to Williams. He picked up 2 yards on 2 consecutive plays, and then the Rams took their final timeout just before the 2-minute warning. But an incomplete pass would bring out the field goal unit for 4th and 6 from the 11 as Brown would attempt a 29-yard field goal. It was up, and it was blocked. The field goal was blocked, and it was recovered by the Rams as they now had the ball on their own 26 with just under 2 minutes left, because that brought the blocked field goal brought us to the 2-minute warning. So now after the 2-minute warning, the Rams 1st and 10 on the 26, and Hill on the snap went awry, and it was a fumble, and it was recovered by Wynn. So Wynn, after getting those sacks, he recovers the fumble, and that was it. Is now all that was left to do for the Giants was for Eli Manning to take 3 knees in the victory formation as this game came to a close with the final score, New York 37, St. Louis 27. And with the win, the Giants are now 6-9 on the season, 3-5 on the road, and the Rams are also 6-5 on the season, 3-5 at home, both with 1 game remaining. And in this game, Eli Manning was 25 for 32 with 391 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Shaun Hill was 24 for 32 with 290 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The leading rusher in this game was for the Giants. Andre Williams had 26 carries for 110 yards. And the leading rusher for the Rams was Trey Mason. He had 13 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. The leading receiver was Odell Beckham Jr. The rookie had 8 receptions for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Rueben Randle had 6 receptions for 132 yards and a touchdown as well. And Larry Donald had 4 receptions for 42 yards. And Parker had 3 receptions for 32 yards. The leading receiver for the Rams was Kenny Britt with 9 receptions for 103 yards. The leading tackler in this game was actually for the Rams. TJ McDonald had 11 tackles in this game, including a sack and a tackle for a loss. Alec Ogletree had 10 tackles. James Laurinaitis had 9 tackles. And the leading tackler for the Giants was Jameel McClain. He had 7 tackles in this game. The Giants had 2 sacks. JPP and Wynn each had a sack. Kerry Wynn. He also had that big play, the interception, and he also had that blocked field goal. So Kerry Wynn having a monster day on defense for the G-Men. With the final score, New York 37, St. Louis 27.